In today's video, we look at 10 haunting documentaries about the Vietnam War. The Vietnam War was a long and controversial conflict that affected not only Vietnam, but the entire world. It is without a doubt one of the most popularized and scrutinized wars in the history of the United States. Thousands of documentaries and films have been produced over the years, each serving to provide a different perspective and insight into this conflict. In this video, we will be taking a closer look at some of the best documentaries about the Vietnam War. If you like our videos, support us with a thumbs up, subscribe to Factual America, activate the little bell, and look forward to the videos we upload for you every week. First up is The Vietnam War, 2017. This 10-part documentary is one of the most detailed and comprehensive renditions of the Vietnam War ever presented for public viewing. Produced and directed by Ken Burns and Lynn Novick, it contains over 18 hours of documentary evidence and commentary from more than 100 witnesses. The original footage has been reconstructed, providing a never-before-seen insight into the minds and motivations of the people who fought in this period. The documentary portrays the brutality, the politics, and the human toll of the conflict, making it an essential watch. Next up is Regret to Inform, 1998. Starting with the premise that women are often overlooked in situations of war, this documentary was produced by Barbara Sonborn. The documentary tells the story of Sonborn, who lost her husband to the Vietnam War, and how she went to Vietnam to try and understand the conflict. Regret to Inform is a heart-wrenching portrayal of the human toll of war, looking at it through the lens of women left behind. At number 3, we have Daughter from Da Nang, 2002. This powerful story of a Vietnamese mother and her daughter who was given up for adoption during the war. The documentary, directed by Gail Dolgan and Vicente Franco, follows the daughter as she returns to Vietnam to meet her mother for the first time. Regarded as one of the best documentaries ever made about the destructive aspects of the Vietnam War, it well captures the aftermath and the clash of cultures that it created. The Cu Chi Tunnels, 1991. In The Cu Chi Tunnels, 1991, director Mickey Grant takes an in-depth look at the renowned Cu Chi Tunnel system during the Vietnam War and the role it played in the victory of the Viet Cong. The tunnels were instrumental in the Viet Cong strategy of surprising the enemy with stealthy attacks. This skillful documentary provides an insightful portrayal of an underground conflict that few people know about. Frontline, 1979, is a well-made, gritty documentary that captures the true essence of the Vietnam War. Created by David Bradbury, Frontline is an up-close portrayal of the war's gritty and brutal realities as seen through the eyes of Australian war correspondents. It includes interviews with reporters, cameramen, and photographers who covered the war, and were often at the front line. This documentary is an unblinking portrayal of war's horrors and depicts a side of the Vietnam War rarely seen by the average viewer. At number 6, we have The Spy in the Hanoi Hilton, 2015. This documentary film tells the story of Air Force captain and prisoner of war James B. Stockdale, who was shot down over North Vietnam in 1965. The film uses interviews with fellow POWs to paint a picture of life in the infamous Hanoi Hilton prison, where prisoners were subjected to torture and inhumane conditions. The documentary is a powerful reminder of the sacrifices made by American soldiers during the Vietnam War. Winter Soldier, 1972, is a unique documentary that provides a perspective on the Vietnam War that is rarely seen in other filmmaking. The film is composed of testimonies from Vietnam veterans who spoke out against the atrocities they witnessed or committed during their time in conflict. The film consists of emotionally charged interviews that paint a vivid picture of the horrors of war and their impact on soldiers. Here we have Hearts and Minds, 1974. This documentary film, directed by Pete Davis, explores the anti-war movement and the impact on American society of the Vietnam War. The film uses footage from the conflict, interviews with soldiers and anti-war activists, and historical context to provide a nuanced perspective on the impact of the war on American society. The film stands as a powerful reminder of the political and social turmoil that defined the Vietnam War era. The My Lai Tapes, 2008, is a powerful and harrowing documentary that revisits the My Lai massacre, one of the most notorious events of the Vietnam War. The film uses audio recordings of conversations between Army officers as they discuss the events leading up to the massacre, as well as interviews with survivors of the massacre. The documentary provides a stark reminder of the horrors of war and the importance of holding those in power accountable. Lastly, Through Their Eyes, 2010, is a documentary film that tells the story of the war from the perspective of the Vietnamese people and the unsettling situation of Agent Orange in Vietnam. The film uses interviews with Vietnamese soldiers and civilians to provide a unique perspective on the conflict. It also looks at those affected by the dioxin poisoning from the Agent Orange herbicide. The documentary is a powerful reminder that the Vietnam War was not just a conflict between the US and Vietnam, but a war that impacted millions of people on both sides. The Vietnam War left an enormous impact on the world, and as shown here, it is still felt today. These documentaries offer unique perspectives on the conflict, showing us a side of the Vietnam War that we don't often see in traditional history books or archival footage. Each documentary offers a different perspective, but all share a similar thread: the human toll and the powerful and lasting impact of war. Hopefully, this video gave you a starting point and highlighted some of the most gripping documentaries about the Vietnam War to add to your watch list. Remember, there are many more documentaries out there, but these are definitely worth watching.